Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Tang Dynasty. Living with Changle, Erteng can't hold back. Living together beyond time and space, Xiao Ran woke up to find that half of his bedroom was missing. Next to her was a girl with exquisite features and stunning beauty. Surprisingly, the girl was Princess Lizhi of Changle in the Tang Dynasty. In the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, warm underwear, warm babies, and hot water bags have become hot-selling products in Chang'an City. Chang'an City has been very cold this year. Xiao Ran has earned a lot of money. With the help of various technologies from Blue Star, Xiao Ran successfully captured Princess Changle and prevented her from marrying Changsun Chong. The purification of fine salt, white sugar, medicinal herbs, as well as potatoes and sweet potatoes, all entered the Tang Dynasty one by one. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Time and Space Cohabitation, Time Traveling Again. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A mysterious force descended, and a bedroom and an antique palace slowly overlapped. The bedroom and palace slowly squeezed and overlapped, and two completely different beds were pieced together. Two people from different time and space, by chance, sleep together. Xiao Ran instinctively tugged at the blanket. It was a bit cold in the big winter. I reached out as if holding on to something hot. Xiao Ran's drowsiness disappeared instantly. Open your eyes at once. A strange face is within reach. Moth eyebrows and dark eyes, with pupils like water, cleverly small and straight nose, smiling and lips like beads. Her skin is now beautiful and white, and her face is as delicate as pink petals and peach blossoms as jade. Xiao Ran couldn't help but marvel in his heart, this is too beautiful. Not right. Xiao Ran realized that he was living alone. How could there be an extra person in bed? Dreaming. Xiao Ran was the first to think of dreaming. Thinking deeply every day, dreaming at night. It's time to find a partner for oneself. It's not a dream. It's just too real. Xiao Ran didn't calm down for a moment. Could it be let the immortal dance? Xiao Ran looked up and saw that the bedroom on the other side had turned into a strange palace. I have seen this style in historical dramas. Xiao Ran turned around to take a look, and on the other side was his own bedroom. Half is the bedroom. Half of it is a dormitory. Xiao Ran was stunned for a short time and muttered to himself, have I passed through the double destination company again? Xiao Ran has only traveled to the Blue Star for a few years, barely adapted, and now he has traveled again. Just as Xiao Ran's thoughts were wandering, Lizhi's long eyelashes moved and she slowly opened her watery eyes. At the moment of seeing Xiao Ran, Lizhi thought she was mistaken and had an illusion. Quickly, Lizhi also realized that this was not an illusion, she just had an extra man in bed. Seeing Lizhi's appearance, Xiao Ran guessed what Lizhi was going to do. Xiao Ran had quick eyes and hands, covering Lizhi's mouth. Lizhi, who was about to scream, was abruptly interrupted by Xiao Ran. Lizhi's beautiful eyes were somewhat frightened, and Xiao Ran also understood. A girl who opens her eyes and sees a man in her bed must be unable to calm down. A big man himself doesn't calm down when he sees an additional beautiful woman. Xiao Ran tried his best to appear kind and slowly said, "Don't get excited, I have no ill intentions." In Lizhi's eyes, besides fear, there was also confusion. Why is there a man in her dormitory? Xiao Ran was afraid that Lizhi would shout out, so he tightly covered her mouth and continued, I don't know how to explain it to you. Don't get excited yet. Look, it's not me in your bed, it's you in mine. Lizhi carefully looked around and found that something seemed to be wrong. On the other side is her own dormitory, which Lizhi knows, but the other side is very unfamiliar. Lizhi has never seen the decoration style before. Seeing that Lizhi was slightly more stable, Xiao Ran said, don't shout loudly. The sound insulation effect of the house is not good, which can easily cause misunderstandings, okay? Lizhi nodded lightly. My eyes are still full of vigilance. Xiao Ran let go and Lizhi quickly stepped back to distance herself from Xiao Ran. Shouting loudly, dare to become a disciple. How dare you enter the dormitory of this palace? You can't die. Xiao Ran was taken aback for a moment, as the other party claimed to be a princess and had truly traveled again. Ordinary people entering the princess's palace should not be able to escape this kind of crime. Xiao Ran quickly waved his hand and said, make sure this is my bedroom, not your palace. Come on. Seeing Lizhi speak again, this time ready to call out, Xiao Ran rushed over and held down Lizhi, covering her mouth. Lizhi was greatly frightened and found herself unable to resist. Xiao Ran said, I have no malicious intent. Don't shout anyone. The situation is not clear now, so don't let others discover it. Lizhi felt a bit helpless. Looking at Xiao Ran, she could only reluctantly blink and agree. The palace police. Tell you, don't act recklessly. If my father knows, he won't let you go. Lizhi looked at Xiao Ran with a stern expression. Seeing Lizhi pretending to be calm, Xiao Ran shook her head helplessly. But I roughly know that the girl in front of me is a princess, but I don't know which dynasty's princess it is. As you can see, my world here is completely different from yours, and we have traveled through it. Lizhi nodded, probably able to understand Xiao Ran's meaning. This kind of thing is extraordinary, don't let others know, otherwise the consequences may be very serious. Lizhi disagrees with this point, but she is not afraid. Her father, the emperor, is the emperor. But now Lizhi understands that she cannot act too aggressively, for fear of angering Xiao Ran. Lizhi knew that she couldn't run out at this distance. Lizhi nodded in agreement and said, I know. Xiao Ran nodded with satisfaction and said, my name is Xiao Ran, and this is Blue Star. It's 2022 now, and you? Lizhi didn't quite understand what Xiao Ran said. I don't understand anything about blue stars or 2022, but I know that the handsome and tall man in front of me is called Xiao Ran. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for monthly flower review tickets and data support. As long as there is data, updating is not a problem. 10 updates. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Is over 1,000 years apart, sharing a bed with Changle. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. I am Lizhi, Princess Changle of the Tang Dynasty. Now it is the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign. Lizhi also revealed her identity, hoping that Xiao Ran could be wary of her princess identity. Princess Changle, Lizhi. Are you Princess Changle, Lizhi? Xiao Ran was both surprised and delighted. I'm afraid it's a fictional dynasty, but I didn't expect it to be from the Tang Dynasty. The hairstyle of the Tang Dynasty is different, but now when sleeping, Lizhi doesn't have a hairstyle either, she just has loose hair. Wearing only sleeping clothes, Xiao Ran couldn't recognize it. If he had put on his clothes and washed them properly, Xiao Ran would definitely have guessed that it was the Tang Dynasty. The hairstyles of Tang Dynasty costumes were too obvious, which were not found in other dynasties. Seeing Xiao Ran's appearance, Lizhi tentatively asked, do you know this palace? Xiao Ran nodded and said, Princess Changle naturally knows, but she hasn't seen it before. Upon hearing Xiao Ran say she knew her, Lizhi's confidence was instantly strengthened. You're a disciple, how dare you underestimate this palace? Aren't you afraid that your father will punish you? Lizhi, as a princess, still had a bit of momentum. Xiao Ran couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Heart says this little girl hasn't figured out the situation yet. Princess Changle, right? I know you, but I'm not from the Tang Dynasty. It's useless for you to threaten me. Xiao Ran looked fearless. Lizhi frowned slightly and said, "You. Don't you know this palace? How could you not be a descendant of the Tang Dynasty? Didn't I just say that? I'm now in 2022. Xiao Ran explained. Lizhi looked puzzled and couldn't understand this. What does this mean? I can't understand it in this palace, she said. Xiao Ran suddenly realized that the previous chronology was based on the emperor's reign title, and Princess Changle would definitely not understand it in 2022. This is the current chronological system, which is actually similar to what you said about the 7 years of Zhenguan. Lizhi nodded and said, "What a strange way of calling it." Xiao Ran continued to explain, "The 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, using the chronological system of my current era, is 633 years. I am now in 2022. Lizhi roughly understood and then looked at Xiao Ran incredulously. So. Doesn't that mean you're in this palace over 1,000 years later? Lizhi's face was filled with shock. Xiao Ran nodded and said, "That's right, we are separated by 1389 years, and I don't know why it opened the way for the 2 eras." Xiao Ran pointed between the bedroom and the palace. Lizhi, who understood, had a pretty face full of shock. Xiao Ran, who has traveled for the 2nd time, has become accustomed to it. "Since you are from over 1,000 years later, do you know what happened in the Tang Dynasty?" Lizhi still had a little bit of disbelief and wanted to verify it. "I definitely don't know about trivial matters, but I definitely know about big things." Lizhi quickly said, "How can you prove it?" Xiao Ran thought for a moment and said, "In the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, Princess Changle is going to marry Changsun Chong." Thinking of this, Xiao Ran's heart was half cold. Princess Changle has already married out. Xiao Ran quickly asked, "Are you married now?" Xiao Ran only knows that it was the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, but the specific time is unknown. "That's right, our palace is indeed going to get married this year. It's only a month before we get married," said Lizhi. Xiao Ran breathed a long sigh of relief. If Princess Changle got married, Xiao Ran would turn black and transform into a bandit, carrying forward the legacy of Wei Wu. If not, it would be even better. Xiao Ran has finished eating this soft rice. "Your Highness, I don't want to work hard anymore. Now I suddenly realize that I can hold my thighs." Lizhi was a bit at a loss and didn't understand what Xiao Ran meant. "Be vigilant and look at Xiao Ran, this palace warns you not to act recklessly. If this princess has any mishaps, father will not let you go." Xiao Ran believed this. Princess Changle Lizhi was the most beloved princess of Li Shimin and Empress Changsun. If there were any ups and downs, Li Shimin would definitely not give up easily. "I have no ill intentions, don't tell anyone about this matter, and don't say anything to your parents," Xiao Ran instructed. "Why?" Lizhi doesn't quite understand. She must have unconditionally believed in Li Shimin and Empress Changsun. "I'm afraid others may have some bold ideas about this world. As the saying goes, those who don't know are fearless. If Li Shimin suddenly had a burst of confidence, he might have done something crazy." "Are you afraid?" Lizhi also saw Xiao Ran's thoughts. "Indeed, it's a bit." Xiao Ran had previously served in the military and his body must be stronger than a normal person. But it definitely cannot confront the military. "Then be honest and be polite to our palace." Xiao Ran looked at Princess Changle and said, "The secrets here are not made public, and they are also protecting the current Tang Dynasty. Tang Dynasty doesn't need it." Speaking of Tang Dynasty Lizhi, she is still very proud. In the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, the Tang Dynasty had already conquered the Turks, and even the Jieli Khan came to Chang'an to perform. Tang Taizong Li Shimin can also be considered as avenging the previous alliance of the Wei River. Now the Tang Dynasty is thriving. Xiao Ran nodded and said, "That's not necessarily true. Since you are from over 1,000 years later, you should understand how strong the Tang Dynasty is now." Lizhi said confidently. "P.S. On the first day of the new book, I am looking for a monthly flower review ticket and data support. As long as there is data, updating is not a problem, and 10 updates a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Agreement with Changle, Common Secret. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Ran nodded and said, I know that the Tang Dynasty is very strong during this period, and at least there are no other countries nearby that can match the Tang Dynasty. Lizhi nodded in satisfaction. Xiao Ran continued, but I am in this world after 1389. Lizhi seemed to suddenly realize something. Your Highness, think about it. What would happen if the Tang Dynasty traveled back to 1389 years ago? Xiao Ran asked Lizhi. Now in the 7th year of the Zhenguan reign, which is 633 BC, if we go back to 1389 BC, it would be 756 BC. 756 BC, that was the spring and autumn period. The current military strength and comprehensive national strength of the Tang Dynasty, by the spring and autumn period, would be known as the surrender and strike. During the spring and autumn period, various feudal states were established side by side. Even if it was a unified state, it would definitely not be able to resist the current Tang Dynasty. Lizhi was very clear about this and nodded in agreement. Lizhi is not an ignorant vase, she is a versatile princess. The development in 2022 is far beyond your imagination, and weapons and the like are incomparable to the current Tang Dynasty. Upon hearing Xiao Ran's words, Lizhi understood that it was indeed impossible to expose it. I understand now. Lizhi's expression was solemn. Taking a look at Xiao Ran's bedroom and palace, it opened a dangerous door for the Tang Dynasty. Now we need to work together to protect this secret and not let others know. Others know that we are all in danger. Xiao Ran is just an ordinary person. If this kind of thing is exposed, it must be impossible to hold on. Xiao Ran doesn't want others to know now. If others know about Xiao Ran, they won't be able to monopolize the benefits. It's estimated that there won't be anything wrong with Xiao Ran when others come over. How do you make me believe you? Lizhi asked. It's not good for me if this place is exposed, I can't hold on to it, Xiao Ran continued, but don't think about killing or silencing anyone. If I die, this place will soon be discovered. Lizhi also had this idea before. Find an opportunity to kill Xiao Ran, so that Tang Dynasty will be safe. It seems that it's not very good now. Not to mention in the Blue Star, in the Tang Dynasty in Chang'an City, if someone dies, the government will definitely investigate. Lizhi can also think of this. Lizhi fell silent, and now it seemed that there was no better way to protect this secret than to peacefully coexist with Xiao Ran. Lizhi nodded and said, then let's make up our minds and protect this secret together. Lizhi cannot bring disaster to the Tang Dynasty either. Xiao Ran nodded satisfied and said, no problem. Lizhi thought for a moment and said, but without the permission of our palace, you cannot come. Similarly, my princess will not come to your side without your permission. This can be considered as the 3rd chapter of the treaty. Feeling understandable, Xiao Ran nodded and said, sure. We can still work together and exchange ideas. There must be something that the two worlds need each other, right? Xiao Ran feels like he's going to make a fortune. The days of September 6th are gone forever. This will be considered by our palace in the future. Lizhi did not panic as before and now regained her composure. Sure. Xiao Ran believed that in the future, Lizhi would seek cooperation with her. The things that Blue Star casually takes out now are all dimensional reduction strikes in the Tang Dynasty. Lizhi pointed to the boundary between the bedroom and the palace and said, without permission, you are not allowed to cross the line without authorization. Sure. Sure. Xiao Ran's attitude satisfied Lizhi very much. Lizhi was still on Xiao Ran's bed. After speaking, Lizhi lifted Xiao Ran's blanket and returned to her own dormitory. I couldn't help but shiver. Comparing the two sides, I found myself in such a cold place. Lizhi got into the blanket, but found it still a bit cold. The temperature in Chang'an is a bit low in winter. Although there are also heating methods, the effect is a bit touching. The palace itself is very large, so it cannot be compared to the houses on Blue Star. Lizhi still felt very cold as she crawled into the bed. Xiao Ran on the other side was wearing very thin clothes. Lizhi said inside the bed, Isn't it cold over there? Xiao Ran looked at Lizhi under the blanket and smiled. It's very cold outside, but it's not cold inside the room. There was no barrier between Xiao Ran's bedroom and Lizhi's palace, but it seemed to be blocked by an invisible wall. One side is very warm, and the other side is very cold. Especially Lizhi, who used to sleep on Xiao Ran's bed, now finds that she hasn't been able to keep her bed warm for a long time when she goes back. The experience of traveling has left Xiao Ran feeling sleepy for a long time. I originally wanted to sleep in on the weekend, but now I'm so excited that I can't sleep at all. Xiao Ran's mind was all about how to make money, earning money from the Tang Dynasty. Gold and silver are good things everywhere. Royal Highness Princess. Upon hearing the sound, Lizhi looked towards the direction of the main gate. This was when the palace maid Yushu, who was close to her, prepared to serve and change clothes. I change clothes in this palace myself, and I am not allowed to enter without the permission of my princess. Lizhi's unquestionable voice rang out. Yes, Royal Highness Princess. Yushu could only wait outside. Lizhi looked cautiously in the direction of the bedroom, and Xiao Ran stopped in the bedroom. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for monthly flower review tickets and data support. As long as there is data, updating is not a problem, and we have 10 updates a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Chang'an City is cold, discovering business opportunities. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lizhi just started dressing, and many of these things were done by herself, so she quickly finished them. Lizhi looked around and found that everything else looked normal, except for Xiao Ran's bedroom, which was visible at a glance from the bed. The style of the bedroom is out of place with that of the palace. You can tell the clues at a glance. Just find a way to cover up here. In the future, I can only change clothes by myself when going to bed, and I can't ask anyone else to help. These Lizhi don't care. Cover the bed with a screen and check if there is no problem. Lizhi said, Come in. Yes, Royal Highness Princess. Yushu pushed the door and entered. Lizhi sat in front of the dressing table, and Yushu began to dress her up. Lizhi had an absent-minded expression, and the events of her travels made it difficult for her to calm down for a while. In the future, no one is allowed to approach the bed without the permission of this palace, otherwise severe punishment will be imposed. Lizhi said very seriously. Yes, Royal Highness Princess, I remember. There are not many palace maids who can enter Lizhi's palace, as long as these people know. After dressing up, a stunning beauty appeared. Lizhi opened the gate of the dormitory, and a cold wind struck, causing her body to shiver. At this moment, Chang'an City is snowing heavily with goose feathers. Your Royal Highness Princess, it's very cold in recent days. Add more clothes. Yushu whispered. No problem. The previous one was like this, and Lizhi didn't care anymore. Walk towards the legislative hall, ready to pay respects to Empress Changsun. The princess and prince are also very busy and have many things to do. Xiao Ran returned to the bedroom again and couldn't see Lizhi. There was also a screen blocking the dormitory, and Xiao Ran understood that Lizhi was worried about being seen by others. Xiao Ran was a bit curious and wanted to go and take a look. "Your Highness. Princess Changle. Lizhi." Xiao Ran tentatively shouted twice. There was no response inside the palace, and the thought of no one made Xiao Ran feel at ease. Just crossed the dividing line, my body couldn't help but tremble, and a layer of goosebumps had formed on my body. Why is it so cold? Xiao Ran wore short sleeves in summer. No wonder I saw Lizhi hiding under the covers before. Xiao Ran turned around and returned to the bedroom, took out a down jacket from the wardrobe, put it on, and entered the dormitory again. Curious about what the sleeping palace of Princess Changle of the Tang Dynasty looks like. Apart from a lot of things placed on the dressing table, there doesn't seem to be much else. This is the influence of Empress Changsun. Empress Changsun has a simple nature and does not like to waste. She only needs enough things. The requirements for the prince are also very strict, often admonishing the princes to prioritize humility, frugality, and frugality. Even for one's own biological children, this is no exception. As the crown prince, the patient's character is not upright and his reputation is not well known. Why suffer from a shortage of utensils and insufficient usage? This is also Empress Changsun's warning to Lady Suyan, who is in charge of the Eastern Palace. Princely Qingqian is like this, and it is normal for Lizhi's palace to not have too much. Through the crack in the door, I saw the heavy snowfall outside, which was not as cold as usual. Xiao Ran murmured to himself, "This is the business opportunity. In the cold winter of the Tang Dynasty, selling some warm clothes or something, isn't it crazy to be snatched away?" Xiao Ran himself is definitely not capable. Xiao Ran has no legal identity and is very troublesome in feudal society. He is just a refugee. We can only cooperate with Lizhi, and Lizhi's identity as a princess is not afraid of anyone deliberately making things difficult. Xiao Ran nodded in satisfaction and had to bring Lizhi along to do business. "Can you get rich and hold on to Lizhi's thigh?" Xiao Ran returned to his bedroom satisfied and prepared to investigate the situation of the 7th year of Zhenguan. It's always good to learn more. Xiao Ran, who returned to the room, was very excited. We can now sell warm underwear, autumn pants, sweaters, down jackets, and so on. And warm babies, hot water bags can only be filled with water, not rechargeable. These are all black technologies in the Tang Dynasty. Take it out in the winter and make a fortune. Although the military situation improved in the early Zhenguan period, the people of the Tang Dynasty did not live very well. Various natural disasters are too frequent. This winter is colder than ever, as recorded in history. Many people even froze to death in Chang'an City. These Xiao Ran are powerless. This is something that Li Shimin should worry about. Xiao Ran ran to the bedroom several times but didn't see Lizhi. "Are you so busy?" Although Xiao Ran didn't know much, he also knew that the prince and princess needed to study. "I just didn't expect to be so busy." It was not until the afternoon that Xiao Ran saw Lizhi return. "My eyes are a bit red, and I also look dazed." Lizhi stood next to the bed, looking at Xiao Ran. "What's wrong with you?" Xiao Ran asked. Lizhi shook her head and said, "It's okay." Lizhi sat alone on the bed, feeling low and seemingly unwilling to speak. Xiao Ran didn't bother either. "Although I want to establish a good relationship with Lizhi, I am not in a hurry." Xiao Ran turned around and left the bedroom. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for a monthly flower review ticket and data support. As long as there is data update, it is not a problem. 10 updates per day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. The Taste Feast of Princess Changle. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Ran is preparing to prepare something to eat, and it's time for the meal. After looking at the ice series, there is really nothing left. I opened the door and saw that although there was no heavy snow outside, the north was also very cold in winter. It's getting dark now and I don't want to go out anymore. I saw the last bucket of instant noodles. And a ham sausage. Make do with it. Xiao Ran started boiling water. I usually work overtime and come back late. It's usually like this, so I can eat something casually and prepare instant noodles. Soaking in it, Xiao Ran felt bored in the living room and returned to the bedroom with instant noodles. I just want to see how Lizhi is doing. Lizhi was unwilling to speak, but it was clear that she must have encountered something unhappy. Xiao Ran has returned, and Lizhi is still sitting in her previous position. Xiao Ran didn't say anything, but now Lizhi needs more silence alone. I feel like the instant noodles are almost ready. Xiao Ran is ready to start eating. Opening the box was steaming hot, and the smell of instant noodles suddenly emanated. Xiao Ran blew and took a sip. The commotion was a bit loud, and Lizhi turned around to look at Xiao Ran without saying anything. I didn't expect Xiao Ran to be eating. Quickly, Lizhi turned around again, took a sniff, and asked, "What is this?" Xiao Ran was stunned and said, "Can you smell it?" Lizhi nodded and swallowed. "It feels like. It tastes so delicious. How can the fragrance pass without convection between cold and hot air?" This is something that Xiao Ran did not expect. This is instant noodles. Instant noodles. Lizhi murmured to herself. Lizhi's eyes were fixed on Xiao Ran. To be precise, she was looking at the instant noodles in Xiao Ran's hand. Xiao Ran continued to eat, but Lizhi didn't speak, just staring straight at Xiao Ran. Taking 2 bites, Xiao Ran couldn't bear to be seen. "Do you want to try it?" Xiao Ran casually asked politely. Lizhi swallowed her saliva and said, "Is that okay?" Xiao Ranxin said, "I don't have enough to eat either. I just wanted to be polite, but I didn't expect this princess to be so impolite." "Of course you can." Without hesitation, Lizhi took off her shoes and walked to the boundary. "Give this palace a try." Lizhi became interested in food over 1,000 years later. Smelling it is really overwhelming. Whether it is healthy or not, the taste feels incomparable to the current Tang Dynasty. Xiao Ran stood up and handed the instant noodles over. When it comes to instant noodles for the first time, most people still enjoy the taste. It's just that you can't eat too much, and you can't be full. If you're full, you won't want to eat again next time. Lizhi did not cross the line and stood on the other side of the boundary. Taking the instant noodles, I felt the instant noodle bucket was very warm, and the smell of the instant noodles emanated, making Lizhi unable to resist swallowing. Xiao Ran can understand that Princess Changle of the Tang Dynasty must have never been exposed to the technology of the 20th century. Lizhi is not very used to plastic forks, so she still imitated Xiao Ran's style and inserted them, ready to taste them. "Are you not afraid of toxicity?" Xiao Ran joked. Lizhi was stunned for a moment, thinking that Xiao Ran had also eaten before, so she didn't worry anymore. Lizhi also understood that she couldn't do anything to Xiao Ran, and Xiao Ran didn't dare to go too far. It wouldn't benefit anyone if she fell out. This palace is not afraid. Lizhi can't wait to taste it. The taste is really delicious. The seasoning bag of instant noodles was impossible to eat during the Tang Dynasty. Now the Tang Dynasty is still eating bitter and astringent salt. Lizhi was stunned as she walked in and out. The special aroma of instant noodles spreads on the tongue, creating an unprecedented taste feast in the mouth. A pair of big eyes suddenly lit up, unbelievably looking at instant noodles and then at Xiao Ran. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for monthly flower review tickets and data support. As long as there is data, updating is not a problem, and we have 10 updates a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Inviting Princess Changle to have ham sausage. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The taste of instant noodles exceeded Lizhi's expectations. Lizhi remained silent and couldn't help but take another sip. A satisfied expression appeared on her pretty face. Take a closer look at the sparkling noodle bucket again. I didn't expect this thing to be so delicious. Lizhi said sincerely after a while. Xiao Ran smiled and said, if you like it, come and eat it. Lizhi is somewhat cautious. I can't do anything to you, it's too cold over there. How do you know it's cold? Lizhi immediately questioned. Xiao Ran couldn't admit that he had been there, so he quickly said, before you came in, your face turned red with cold. This is very obvious. Lizhi also wears quite a few things. If it was the first time he saw it dressed like this, Xiao Ran would definitely know at first glance that it was just a person from the Tang Dynasty. The hairstyle is also unique to the Tang Dynasty. Lizhi nodded and looked at Xiao Ran, feeling as if he was not an extremely vicious person either. I didn't think much about sitting cross-legged on the bed of Xiao Ran. Lizhi didn't speak anymore and continued to eat. Xiao Ran could only watch. Eating instant noodles for 2 more times would make him tired. Watching others eat when hungry is really delicious. After taking a few bites in a row, Lizhi realized that it was Xiao Ran's. After looking at the few instant noodles left, I looked at Xiao Ran again. Lizhi was very reluctant and said, my palace. I'll give you another sip of soup for the last time, okay? Seeing such a lovely Princess Changle, how could Xiao Ran refuse to say so? Lizhi quickly took a sip of soup, her eyes filled with small stars. I was pleasantly surprised to find that the soup was even more delicious than noodles. I couldn't help but take another sip. I reluctantly handed it to Xiao Ran and said, oh, I'll give it back to you now. Xiao Ran took the instant noodles and looked at the few ones before saying, Your Highness, why don't you eat the ham sausage inside? Ham sausage. Lizhi has never heard of this name before. Is it delicious? I think it's a little better than instant noodles. Can you try this palace? Lizhi's eyes were full of anticipation. Xiao Ran found himself unable to refuse this lovely Princess Changle. Before I had a chance to take a bite, I handed over the instant noodles. Lizhi inserted the ham sausage and sniffed it, only the taste of instant noodle soup. It looks good. Lizhi took a gentle bite and excitedly said, this is not bad either. I really like it. Under the impact of delicious food, I have forgotten my previous unhappiness. Xiao Ran also felt it, and the two of them gradually became acquainted. This Princess Changle is still very easy to get along with. If you like it, eat more. Then I won't be polite. Lizhi took another bite. What kind of meat is this? The taste is strange, but I feel it tastes good. Xiao Ran was about to say it was pork, but immediately swallowed it back. When it comes to pork now, Lizhi definitely can't accept it. The previous people looked down on pork from the bottom of their hearts. Princess Changle, a person of high status, is even less likely to eat pork. The previous pork was indeed not delicious, it was both sour and fishy. Belongs to things that the poor cannot afford and the rich cannot look up to. Before the maturity of castration technology, if the mortality rate was too high, it would not be castrated. Pigs that were not castrated would not produce much meat, and the higher the cost, the higher the price. Unconsciously, Lizhi discovered that there was only a small piece of ham sausage left. Lizhi felt a bit embarrassed and said, oh. I'll give you the rest. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for monthly flower review tickets and data support. As long as there is data update, it is not a problem, and we can make 10 changes a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Princess Changle sneaks on the bed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If you like it, you can eat it. Just leave me some soup. Upon hearing Xiao Ran's words, Lizhi didn't hesitate either. Okay. I promised you. When it was finally handed to Xiao Ran, there was not much soup left. Lizhi looked at Xiao Ran with satisfaction, this time quite satisfied with the taste of instant noodles. Xiao Ran realized while drinking soup that eating a bucket of noodles between the two was not an indirect kiss. Lizhi curiously scrutinized the situation in Xiao Ran's bedroom. Especially the bright chandeliers on the ceiling. Compared to the candles in the dormitory, this is much brighter. No comparison, no harm. I used to think the dormitory was also very bright, but now I realize it's too dark over there. After drinking the noodle soup, Lizhi felt a bit hot. The clothes I'm wearing are a bit thick, and in a room with heating, it's really hot. Although the decoration styles are different, Lizhi also understands that she is sleeping in Xiao Ran's place. It doesn't seem very suitable. Get up and say, I'm very satisfied with your food. I'm going back to my palace. Xiao Ran nodded and said, okay. Anyway, it's just a few steps away. Returning to her own dormitory, Lizhi felt very uncomfortable. It suddenly became very cold. Taking advantage of Xiao Ran's technique of throwing instant noodle boxes, Lizhi had already changed clothes and gone to bed. Curled up under the blanket, trembling. Xiao Ran wanted to talk to Lizhi about business several times, but felt that it was too urgent to talk about it on the first day we met. It's not good to be too anxious, being too proactive and easily passive. It's best to let Lizhi take the initiative, so that she can take the initiative. Xiao Ran, who used to sleep late, now feels like going to bed after washing up. I didn't expect to be able to share a bed with Princess Changle. This great opportunity should not be missed. Xiao Ran returned to bed and lay down, covering himself with a blanket and saying, Your Highness, good night. I know now. Lizhi still had a little arrogance. Xiao Ran turned off the lights, and the bedroom and palace were all dark. Neither of them spoke again, only a faint breath. Lizhi felt a bit cold, with a lot of blankets, but she needed to cover them for a while. Compared to Xiao Ran, the bedroom still has comfortable heating. Lizhi also likes that warm feeling. Feeling Xiao Ran asleep, Lizhi quietly extended her hand from the bed to the other side of the dividing line. I feel that familiar and warm feeling again. The temperature on both sides of the boundary is like one winter and one summer. Feeling that Xiao Ran didn't react, Lizhi's courage slowly grew stronger and tentatively extended her little foot over. Lizhi suddenly felt that this sneaky feeling was a bit stimulating. On the other side, Xiao Ran naturally did not fall asleep, and even Lizhi's small movements were noticed by Xiao Ran. Just pretending to sleep. I don't know when, both of them fell asleep. In the early morning, Xiao Ran opened his eyes and saw the beautiful face of an indescribable object again. I don't know when Lizhi came to Xiao Ran's side again. Covering Xiao Ran's blanket, whose one is still very fragrant. Seeing Lizhi sleeping, Xiao Ran lost his composure and felt that it was just too beautiful. Perhaps this is sleeping beauty. Lizhi's beautiful eyes moved for a moment, and Xiao Ran knew that Lizhi was about to wake up. In order not to embarrass Lizhi, Xiao Ran quickly closed her eyes and pretended to be still asleep. Lizhi, who slowly opened her eyes, was also surprised to see Xiao Ran, who was close by the pillow. Shame and annoyance. I originally wanted to scold Xiao Ran for taking advantage of me, but suddenly realized that I had run to Xiao Ran's bed again. I suddenly felt awkward. I spit out my tongue. Looking at Xiao Ran who was still sleeping, Lizhi felt very fortunate, but fortunately Xiao Ran did not notice. gently prepared to slip away. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for a monthly flower review ticket and data support. As long as there is data update, it is not a problem. 10 updates per day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Empress Changsun's illness is severe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'm sorry if I find out later. Just as she stepped out of the dividing line, Lizhi couldn't help but tremble. Xiao Ran's bed is still comfortable, and Lizhi is becoming increasingly disgusted with her own side. Time is also around, wait for Yushu to come again. Lizhi looked at Xiao Ran, who was still sleeping on the other side, and tiptoed to start changing clothes on her own. It's too cold inside the bed and I don't feel like sleeping. Leaving the bed, don't forget to bring the screen over and block it in front of the bed. This also blocked Xiao Ran from peeking. Xiao Ran listened quietly, the whispers of Lizhi in the palace made, but he couldn't hear anything specific. The dormitory is a bit big, and the voices of the two people talking are still very quiet. Xiao Ran is not in a hurry, he can gradually establish a good relationship with Princess Changle through food. As long as we cooperate with Princess Changle, there are too many channels to make money. Xiao Ran is no longer in a hurry. After finishing her grooming, Lizhi went to the legislative hall again, ready to pay her respects to Empress Changsun. Just entered the legislative yuan and saw Crown Prince Li Qingqian. Big brother. Without outsiders, Lizhi wouldn't call him Prince Li Qingqian. Beautiful. Li Qingqian's eyes turned red. Big brother, what's wrong? Lizhi couldn't help but worry. Li Qingqian sighed and said, Lizhi, you should spend more time with your mother. Big brother still has many things to attend to. Lizhi nodded and entered the legislative yuan, where she saw the weak Empress Changsun on the bed. Mother. Is it serious again? Lizhi looked worried. Empress Changsun doted on Lizhi and said, It's okay, it's just that the weather has been cold. I've had an old illness before, it's okay. Lizhi held the hand of Empress Changsun, feeling very cold. I reached out and touched the feet inside the blanket, and it was the same. Is the mother's blanket too thin? Add 2 more stoves in the dormitory. Lizhi said. Don't waste it anymore, it's already enough. Lizhi touched Empress Changsun's feet and found that she had frostbite. It's all like this. Father would definitely be unhappy if he knew. Empress Changsun shook her head and said, Don't tell your father, the weather is getting warmer and better. Mother can still lie in the palace. I don't know how many people in Chang'an City are suffering from winter and hunger. Your father has been busy lately, so don't bother him. Lizhi nodded. Lizhi has reached the age of marriage and doesn't need to go to the Imperial Academy anymore. She spends most of her time with Empress Changsun. Empress Changsun rested at noon, and Lizhi returned to the princess's mansion. During the meal, Lizhi didn't have much appetite either. On the one hand, it was due to Empress Changsun's illness, and on the other hand, after eating instant noodles, she found it difficult to swallow the food from the imperial kitchen. Returning to the princess's mansion, Lizhi sent other palace maids to not disturb her in the palace. Just as she entered the dormitory, Lizhi smelled a special fragrance again. Turning around the screen and looking toward Xiao Ran's bedroom, I didn't see any Xiao Ran people. But Lizhi knew that the fragrance came from over there. Lizhi really wants to go and have a look, and now she knows that food over 1,000 years later will be very delicious. Xiao Ran. Lizhi shouted softly. No response. I shouted a few more times but still didn't respond. Lizhi wants to go and take a look. Entering the bedroom with a warm feeling made Lizhi feel very comfortable. Without much thought of continuing towards the bedroom door, Lizhi was also curious about what it was like over there. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for monthly flower review tickets and data support. There is no problem with the updates, as long as there is data, we will update 10 times a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Using food to guide Princess Changle. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Ran had just come out of the kitchen carrying a dish when he saw Lizhi at the bedroom door. What's wrong? Is there anything wrong? Xiao Ran smiled and said. Lizhi looked straight at the fish-flavored shredded meat in Xiao Ran's hand and nodded wooden. If you're willing, sit down and eat while talking. Lizhi felt a bit embarrassed, but the food tasted so delicious. Lizhi felt that the craving insects in her body were almost uncontrollable. Then. I won't be too polite. Xiao Ran looks quite friendly, and Lizhi is not too guarded either. I sat down at the dining table. Xiao Ran took out a small bowl and filled it with rice, pushing it towards Lizhi. These things were not considered precious in the 20th century, but this delicacy was definitely beyond the reach of people in the Tang Dynasty. Lizhi swallowed her saliva as she watched tomato, scrambled eggs, and fish-flavored shredded meat. During the Tang Dynasty, salt was bitter and astringent, and other seasonings were even less abundant. Although vinegar and soy sauce are present, the taste is indescribable. Don't think about other spices or anything else. Although the ingredients are ordinary, many seasonings are not possible in the Tang Dynasty. This was also intentional by Xiao Ran. Before doing business and making money in the Tang Dynasty, Lizhi must first feel that these things are really good. Try it quickly. If you don't like it, I can switch to something else. Lizhi can no longer care about anything else. Picking up chopsticks and adding a piece of tomato and egg. What is this? It's sour and sweet, with eggs. Wow, it's so delicious. Lizhi felt like she had discovered a new world again. The unique taste of tomatoes is beyond words. This is called a tomato. Tomatoes were only introduced to Kyushu during the Ming Dynasty, and it was normal for Princess Changle of the Tang Dynasty to not know. Delicious. Lizhi looked enjoying herself. More than 1,000 years ago, nobles and even royal relatives may not have eaten as well as ordinary people in the 20th century. Not to mention seasoning and monosodium glutamate, salt is incomparable. Try this again. Xiao Ran pushed the fish-flavored shredded pork in front of Lizhi. Lizhi looked at it and found that the fish-flavored shredded pork also looked all the way to her taste. Lizhi took a sip and was almost numb with shock. These things are really fragrant. This meat is also too delicious. Lizhi began to ponder in her heart how to get Xiao Ran to the imperial dining room of the princess mansion. So that I can have delicious food every day. After taking a few bites, Lizhi suddenly stopped. Xiao Ran quickly asked, so what's going on? Is it not to my taste? No, you can set a price for these dishes and I'll buy them from my palace. Lizhi didn't want to take advantage of Xiao Ran either. It's not worth much. Your Highness Royal Highness Princess likes to eat it here. It's not enough for me to do it. How could the favor that Xiao Ran wanted make Lizhi spend money? I want to take it with me. Give it to my mother to taste. She hasn't eaten well for several days. The smile on Empress Changsun Lizhi's face disappeared before speaking. Xiao Ran suddenly remembered that Empress Changsun had passed away in the 10th year of the Zhenguan reign, and now it has been 7 years. In these 2 years, Empress Changsun's health has been very poor. Xiao Ran also understood why Lizhi was in a bad mood before. Xiao Ranxin said that if he could treat Empress Changsun's illness, wouldn't he be able to win the trust of Princess Changle? This is a shortcut. So that's it. You can eat it first and give it to the Empress later, then you can make it. How much is it? You said this palace will give it to you. Xiao Ran said that free is the most expensive, and money cannot be collected. P.S. On the first day of the new book, we are looking for a monthly flower review ticket and data support. As long as there is data update, it is not a problem. 10 updates per day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Sending a hot water bag to future mother.in.law. You are listening at novel full.audio. Xiao Ran smiled and said, no need for that. We were originally people separated by more than 1,000 years, and it was fate that we met. As the saying goes, after 100 years of cultivation, we can cross the same boat, and after 1,000 years of cultivation, we can sleep together. The front was still normal, and upon hearing Lizhi's pretty face blush slightly, dang Tuzi. You dare. A shy and angry expression, equally charming. No, what I said is actually true. You're not allowed to say it. Lizhi quickly said. Xiao Ran nodded and silently said to himself, I dare again next time. Two people finished the few more dishes. Lizhi touched her belly with a happy smile on her face. I have never had such a delicious meal before. Lizhi looked curiously at Xiao Ran's living room. After staying with Xiao Ran, Lizhi didn't want to go back to her own dormitory at all. It's really too cold. At night, it was also dark. Lizhi likes the warmth and brightness here in Xiao Ran, but most importantly, the food here is so delicious. Xiao Ran stood up and asked, Your Highness, what does the Empress like to eat? After careful consideration, Lizhi said, It seems that Empress Dowager is not picky about food, and there is nothing she particularly likes to eat. Xiao Ran said you are making things difficult for me, fat tiger. The Empress has been feeling unwell lately, so I'll do some tonics. How about a lighter one? Xiao Ran pondered slightly. I have no objection, just think it's good. Lizhi now trusts Xiao Ran's cooking skills very much. I'm going to the kitchen to prepare. Lizhi nodded and said, Go. During Xiao Ran's busy time in the kitchen, Lizhi looked around the living room. Lizhi finds many things full of curiosity. Walking to the window, I was shocked to see the tall buildings outside the community. The rectangular boxes running back and forth on the road also caught Lizhi's attention. I think it looks pretty good. Now Lizhi understands that the development after more than 1,000 years has reached an unimaginable level for herself. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What are you thinking? How can you get lost? Xiao Ran suddenly walked over. Lizhi was startled and said, You're a disciple. You scared this palace. Lizhi looked at Xiao Ran with a melancholic expression. I didn't expect you to be distracted while watching here. Lizhi didn't care about this question either. Did it get done so quickly? Soup still needs to wait. Lizhi said, Mother's hands are very cold and her feet have frostbite. Xiao Ran, do you have a solution? Xiao Ran was the first to think of a warm water bag. You can give it a try, but I'm not sure about the effect. Upon hearing Xiao Ran's words, Lizhi was overjoyed and said, You speak quickly. Xiao Ran found 2 outdated hot water bags and said, Add boiling water to them, hold them in your arms, and put them at your feet while sleeping. Lizhi picked up a hot water bag and looked at it suspiciously, saying, Is this useful? Just give it a try. Xiao Ran opened the hot water bag and added hot water. Hand it to Lizhi and say, Try the effect. Lizhi took the overheated water bag and was pleasantly surprised, saying, It seems pretty good. Holding the Empress Mother not only keeps her hands cool, but also warms her body. Xiao Ran nodded and said, That's right, all you need to do is change the hot water, it's very convenient. Okay. Lizhi was very satisfied. How much does Xiao Ran cost? I can't take your things for nothing. This is not worth any money, and I can't use it either. You can pick it up and use it. Building good relationships is the key, and in the future, I will earn back everything I do in business. Xiao Ran was still very willing to give 2 hot water bags to his future mother. Lol. P.S. On the first day of the new book, I am looking for a monthly flower review ticket and data support. As long as there is data update, it is not a problem, and 10 updates a day. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.